Good morning to you. You are right on time for Business Cafe, your dawn business update. I am Brian George Otieno. I have quite a panel of guests today who will be furnishing us with what is happening, and also will be giving you an update on what the president is up to, because he is in Coast for a two-day visit where he'll be launching a modern port. My colleague Vivian Wandera is also standing by, telling us what the IGAD, that is the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, finance ministers are meeting in Naivasha today. She will be furnishing us with the details of the content of their discussion. Tobias Chanji, of course, is standing by at the Coast. And with me here in studio is Sam Kibara, who is a risk management analyst, who will be talking to us about how you can have Christmas on a budget. But first of all, let's start off at the Coast. Tobias, you are in County 001. Talk to us about what the president is all about today, Tobias.
A very good morning, Brian. Indeed, we are at the Mtongwe shipyard here at the Kenya Navy in Mombasa County. The president will be expected to arrive here at around 11 a.m. Indeed, this is a milestone not only in the shipping industry, but it also play a significant role, especially on the blue economy, as the commissioning of this shipyard will put Kenya on the global map, as it will be the largest public shipyard, not only in Kenya, but in the entire of East Africa. Remember that this shipyard is co-owned by the KDF, that has a stake of about 70%, and members of public will be having, or rather the private sector, they'll have a stake of about 30%. Now, according to the government, this will play a crucial role, as remember that mostly Kenya has been doing its construction, maintenance and repair of ships using some of the private yards that include Seiko, and we also have Africa Marine. And now this will be the first time that the government will be doing their repairs, ship construction and maintenance through this shipyard. Remember that the military owns about 17 ships, and they'll be saving a tune of about 68 billion all in maintenance and repairs. And according to some experts that we spoke to earlier on, to repair a ship usually costs an average of around 4 billion shillings. So this is a milestone that has been made, and we'll be expecting other dignitaries will be following the president once he arrives here, and will be ready to tell our viewers what will be going on here at Mtongwe.
Amazing. Many thanks, my colleague Tobias Chanji, standing by right there at County 001 Mombasa, where the president is expected to launch that shipyard. Thank you so much, Chanji. We'll be following up that story for you for the rest of our bulletin in the course of the day. And of course, at some point, we'll also cross over live so that you have a feel of what the Mombasa people are going to be experiencing. We'll start you off on our stories today with some good news this morning. And you may want to pay attention to this one, as this is touching on your power bills. Well, Kenya Power, in a statement, notes that the first 15% reduction in the cost of power will be implemented on power consumption in the month of December 2021. This will be reflected in power bills covered in that period, which, as is normal practice, will be sent to consumers in the following month, in this case, January 2022. So Kenya Power remains committed to working with all stakeholders to provide clean, affordable, reliable and accessible power to all Kenyans, which will undoubtedly bring down the cost of living and improve Kenya's competitiveness as the region's industrial hub. Amazing. This also comes after the KenGen held their 69th AGM just yesterday, and of course the promise of diversification of various energy generation. We've seen KenGen strike deals with countries like Djibouti to drill geothermal power. Want to see to what end that gets us. We now want to bring in Vivian Wandera, who has been following up our big story of the day on the key meeting by finance ministers happening from Naivasha. It will start at about 10 a.m. there. But Vivian, what can you tell us this morning about the meeting?
Good morning, Branji. And this is quite an interesting day for the country, because Kenya is supposed to assume chairmanship of the Horn of Africa initiative from Djibouti, and in Naivasha we have different ministers from different countries like the Republic of Ethiopia, we have the finance minister from Somalia, and we also have the finance minister from Djibouti in attendance and a representative from IGAD. So key among the issues that are going to be discussed are like social-human development, infrastructure, and economic development of the countries between last year and this year. And you're going to keep a keen eye on this story as it continues to develop. And you're going to be asking the question, how exactly is this chairmanship going to help Kenya? Does it mean we're going to get more investments? Will the country open up to more imports and be exporting more goods? And such are the things we're going to be talking about it at 3 p.m. on Business Today as we keep following up on the story in Naivasha.
Amazing. Many thanks, my colleague Vivian Wandera right there. And we also want to look at how the diplomatic issues between Kenya and Somalia play out, especially after the maritime border issue that was ruled upon by the ICJ a couple of weeks ago. So the Ministry of Housing has today signed the contract for 5,000 affordable housing units in Mavoko, Machakos County. The project that is under a 20 billion shilling housing project that was launched by the government in Mavoko will see local contractors, EPCO Builders Limited, construct the 5,000 housing units under the affordable housing plan, with houses ranging from 1 million Kenya shillings and 3 million shillings per unit. According to Housing PS Hinga, the project that is being done in partnership with UN Habitat will take about 4 years to complete and is the HTE first one undertaken by a local contractor.
Right, thank you very much. I'd like to welcome, for those of you who have your pension, it's very important to understand that now you can withdraw up to 40% of your pension savings towards a home. This became effective end of September, and the regulator is very much working with us. So you can start working with the financial institutions because the 40% may not be sufficient to buy the home, but you can use that together with your other savings to now be able to get a home.
That is why, and today when we are going to Mavoko, I can assure you that we will build good quality houses and with modern technology and affordable houses for the Wananchi. That much I can assure you on behalf of EPCO.
Now, depending on your age, if you use Yellow Pages to find contacts of companies, then you should listen to this. So Yellow Pages has announced the launch of a new service, Yellow Connect, specifically designed to help SMEs grow the visibility of their businesses, both online and offline, and reach more customers with prices starting from as low as 2,500 Kenya shillings. While making the announcement, Yellow Pages CEO Pedro Gomez noted that small businesses may lack the manpower and capital to dedicate to large-scale marketing efforts, and this is the gap that Yellow Connect aims to fill.
Yellow Connect is our state-of-the-art offer that combines both print and digital presence. Basically, it features such as the Yellow Spot that publish your presence, your details across all platforms, all publishers, the print book, our very own Yellow Pages Online, and of course also combines the website and the CRM that will allow any business to track all the interactions and to showcase their services. We are targeting basically the SMEs and the informal businesses that are willing to or in need to have a digital presence and also a marketing presence overall. In my opinion, the SMEs, they face always two major challenges on this. One, it's the lack of...
Now, this one here will now usher us into the conversation of the day. But first of all, Christmas is a costly affair for most African households, Kenya included. Now, the festive season is here. So the question is, how can we spend Christmas on a budget? Esther Diana spoke to Ken Gishinga, an economist, about cutting down on expenses and whether or not it is thoughtful to travel a country during festive season. I beg your pardon. Take a look.
The festive season is here, and as we are all aware that Kenyans, we have a habit of traveling up country. So what's your take on this? Is it really practical for people to travel up country?
Indeed, many times Kenyans enjoy going home for Christmas. It's part of the annual ritual, and it's a time for friends and family to reconnect. This year has been a particularly different year because the schooling calendar has forced holidays to be much shorter, but even the economy has not been doing very well. So there'll be a need for prudence in how people organize their affairs for this particular Christmas. Well, in economics, there's a branch called behavioral economics, and behavioral economics says that people's behavior, how people value things, is different from person to person. One man's meat is another man's poison. So how people spend their leisure time, how people spend their money, whether people want to be up country with their folks or in Mombasa, it's very, very difficult. It's tied to how somebody was brought up. Some families are more tight-knit together. Other families tend to be more on the nuclear family. So you can't legislate how different people, it's pretty much what pleasure people derive.
Very well, that conversation right there ushers in the core business of our talk today about you spending Christmas on a budget. Sam Kibara is here with me in studio. He is a business risk analyst. We now want to get some insights on just how this festive season can be still enjoyed on a shoestring budget. Sam, good to see you. Let's start off. Everybody is pushing the idea of consumerism right now. Every mall you go into is having a 40% sale off and all these kind of things. But we have to live up to the realities that we have been having quite a turmoil in the economy. Sam, how do we spend Christmas on a budget?
Thank you, Brian. This is indeed a very exciting topic this season. And as you say, there's an important word we have said there, budget. It's not a very common, it's not a very usual thing, and we all find it difficult sometimes, especially when we have to talk about individual budgets. And what a season like Christmas does is we usually have what we call the hype. And the hype brings with it gratification that we need to spend. And I think we have just been told by Ken there about different people doing different things. But as it has been mentioned, these are unusual times. We have we basically actually just have a break, not even a season, because it's just a week and we are done. So it's very, very important that that week does not become the source of our troubles going forward. And so it is very important that the first thing we do is we need to know what does our pot look like? What is it that we have to spend? Because if we don't know how much we need to spend, then it becomes very difficult to know to what extent should I go if I have to be prudent in my Christmas spending.
I love the word you use there, gratification. And of course, right now, everybody wants to look and feel and have that feeling of we are celebrating Christmas, and some people are going into even borrowing. Talk to us about that. Is it prudent to borrow to celebrate Christmas?
That's an interesting one, because when we talk about instant gratification, the number one thing is that we want to actually spend on what we call expected income, or I think we might get some bonus here. And so we end up actually spending on anticipated incomes. And so the rule number one is that when we are doing things during Christmas, we should not use anticipated income. And we should try to plan ourselves pretty much based on what we have with us now, so that having a full view of what lies ahead for us, because immediately after Christmas, the next school term starts on 3rd of January.
Exactly.
And that means that really we won't have a break in spending. And so that 1 week can make a big, big difference in how life looks like after 3rd of January.
In your financial life entirely, I guess.
Yes.
Exactly. So are you traveling up country? Sam, I need to put you on the spot on this one. and is it practical or tenable, or even I know it's a culture thing.
Yes.
We have to travel up country when it's seasons like this. Good enough for me, I'll be working here, but because the nature of our business. But really, Sam, is it tenable to travel up country? Is it even advisable to travel up country? But owing to the fact that there are also social economic issues that come to play, because most people find Christmas the only time when they can take a break from work, they can travel from abroad, come and be with family. Schools have closed, and that time is available. So talk to us about that up-country travel.
That's a very, very critical thing, because again, when culture and other social issues come into play, sometimes they can lead to us ending up spending in ways that perhaps we shouldn't, because in this season, remember, it's the season that everyone is looking to reap the benefits. The transport industry is looking to benefit. The hospitality industry is looking to benefit. And so they maximize based on the fact that demand and supply is not really well balanced. So you might find that traveling up country could be even up to 3 times what the usual fare is. And I think what you have said is a real issue that perhaps as consumers we need to ask ourselves. Luckily for some of us, it's an hour drive or an hour travel, so it may not be too much of a difficult. But there are people who traveling up country means a big budget, especially if you have to travel with family. And I think some conversations around whether the traveling is viable or tenable, maybe waiting a month or a few weeks and then travel when things are cooled off might make much more sense. And perhaps that could be arranged even on a wider family, where we agree we all don't travel during this time and we can travel in March or at some other time when there is a bit of slowdown in the pricing of travel.
Amazing. Many thanks, Sam Kibara, right there, risk analyst, talking to us about how you can spend your December and Christmas at large in a shoestring budget. Sam, did you see that meme that was saying that how to spend Christmas with 1,000 Kenya shillings? Kenyans on Twitter can be something, But yes, it is not practical to spend December or Christmas with 1,000 Kenya shillings. And I think on that note, we want to close it right here on Business Cafe. Many thanks for your invaluable company the whole week as we brought you stories that concern you in the world of business. We are developing much of this, so much more that we'll be giving you in the subsequent bulletins. I am Brian George Otieno. Please extend grace, be kind to one another. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year 2022.